Hey everyone, it's John here from Hot Take Hockey, back with another video, and this video is going to be potential trade targets for the Toronto Maple Leafs leading into the 2021 NHL trade deadline. So if you are here, you're new, welcome, smash that like button, subscribe, drop a comment with your thoughts. I think for the Leafs, we can look at a few needs, and I'm going to talk about maybe a fourth line player, a defenseman, but there's bigger needs here. And there's been a lot of rumors talking about top six guy, a third line center. We're going to go through it. And we're gonna just start with a fourth line player. I know a lot of people have talked about that physical presence for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Wayne Simmonds went down. He's that physical presence. You obviously have different guys on the back end. Bogosian, Muzzin, even Brody will lay a hit. Justin Holl. Up front, they're a little thin in terms of that physicality. You know, there's certain guys that are bigger. Thornton's not afraid to get into the corners, but he's not going to lay out a big hit. The only guy that's not afraid to drop the gloves or get into those big hits is Wayne Simmonds. I think if you look up and down the lineup, there's not too many of the guys. Obviously, for a guy like Zach Hyman, he's going to get into the corners. He's going to be hard on the forecheck, but they're thin on guys like that. So I listed here Austin Watson, Nick Deslauriers, and Sam Bennett. For Sam Bennett, you would have to retain 50% in terms of Calgary, and then you don't want to give up too much. Maybe it's Engvall, maybe it's a pick, whatever it is. If Calgary's not in a playoff spot, maybe that becomes a trade. But Austin Watson, Nick Deslauriers, guys that will drop the gloves, get physical. I think on a fourth line role, those are guys that are realistic for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I just wanted to touch on it. Defenseman. I don't think the Leafs are going to get a defenseman unless it's like a depth guy. If they are going to get a guy, I think Travis Hamonic would be a fit. The Canucks are not in the conversation for playoffs, and he wouldn't have to quarantine for the 2 weeks. David Savard and MATTIAS, EKHOLM, I think, are more unlikely. I just think with David Savard, that was an opportunity for the Leafs in the offseason, but they trusted Justin Holl in that process. Holl's worked out great. They signed Brody and brought in Bogosian. So I could see it maybe, but I think, again, the Blue Jackets might have to retain something there. Hamonic, $1.25 million. That one makes the most sense to me. If the Leafs want to go out to get another defenseman, that could be a potential. But let's look at the bigger needs for the Leafs. And that starts with a top six winger. So these are like the big dream options here. Even for Taylor Hall, I don't know, like $8 million, the Buffalo Sabres would have to retain 50% for sure, or another team get involved and retains some of that cap. But RICHARTE, that one's interesting. Under $4 million, term past this year, it makes sense for the Leafs. They would have to give up a decent amount, I would expect. Same with FILIP FORSBERG. FORSBERG's like the dream option. And for FORSBERG and RAKELL, there's going to be other teams going after them, like the Bruins, Oilers, the list goes on, right? So the Leafs could be in on those players. There's been rumors tied to FORSBERG and RAKELL, and there was rumors that the Leafs were trying to talk with Taylor Hall at some point in the offseason, and he's going to be a free agent again. So these are the dream options. But the more realistic options: MIKAEL GRANLUND, who's been heavily tied to the Leafs. Bobby Ryan, just 1 year, $1 million. That could be a decent option. And Tanner Pearson. So I think these are cheaper options and more realistic for the Toronto Maple Leafs for a top six winger role. So let me know what you guys think about this. I think Granlund could be an interesting one. If you're not giving up a first round pick, if it's like a second round pick for Granlund, I take that if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs. Bobby Ryan probably will be a little cheaper. Same with Tanner Pearson. I don't think you have to give up more than a second round pick for any of these guys. It might even be less, but I would say second round pick is in around for these guys, I would say. And third line center, I'll just touch on some more top six wingers here just before I go into the third line center spot. Victor Arvidsson, there's been rumors there. Kyle Palmieri, Nikita Gusev, both pending UFAs. They've been in conversation. There's a couple other guys like Nick Foligno was thrown out there. I don't know if that's the best fit. I wouldn't say it is a great fit. And then Alex Iafallo, he's been in conversations as well. I think the Kings want to retain him, so I just wanted to throw out other options. But third line center, this is the one I think they need to address the most. Eric Staal, Erik Haula, Boone Jenner. These are my three favorites for the Leafs for third line centerman. I love the idea of bringing in Boone Jenner. You saw him against the Leafs in the Blue Jackets series. He gets under your skin. He can provide some offense as a third line center who can also play the wing. This is a perfect fit for the Toronto Maple Leafs. If they can make this happen, do it. Erik Haula is another great fit. If you're the Leafs, talking to Nashville, talking to David Poile, I think if you're the Leafs, Dubas, you have to talk about getting potentially both Granlund and Haula. Haula could be a great fit for this team. And Eric Staal, same thing. I think at this point in his career, he's nothing more than a middle six guy or a third line center. So I like the potential for Eric Staal coming to the Leafs. Other options, these are probably not as realistic. Ryan Getzlaf, over $8 million or $8 million cap hit around there. So the Ducks would have to retain half of it or another team involved. Ryan Strome, term, so it could make some sense. And Chris Tierney, term as well, but only like $3 million cap hit. So the Leafs could make that happen. I think Tierney could be realistic. And again, it would be avoiding the quarantine in Canada and some other options. Obviously, Luke Glendenning's not a third-line center, but in terms of like being great on the faceoff, he's the best faceoff centerman right now in the league. He could play on the fourth line for the Leafs, so that's more of a fourth-line option. Brandon Sutter and Travis Zajac, interesting options, pending UFAs, veterans. I could see it, but it's probably on that less of a percentage and a possibility. But I would say maybe a third-round pick. It wouldn't be as much to acquire these guys. So let me know what you think. I think overall for these guys, I just wanted to make a quick video to talk about it. These are guys the Leafs, Kyle Dubas, are going to look out for. I think for the top 6 winger, it's going to take probably at least a second-round pick. In some circumstances, maybe less. But I think for a guy like RAKELL or FORSBERG, then you're talking a first-round pick. You probably have to give up a guy like Liljegren. So that conversation becomes a little bigger. And then for the third-line center, I mean, you could get a guy like Erik Haula, I think, for a third-round pick and maybe just like a mediocre prospect. Like, I think a trade like that is realistic. And if you're the Leafs, you have to make at least a deal like that. You want to push. You want to make the run. This is the year to make the run, or at least over these next couple of years. These are the years to make the run. So you acquire. You obviously look, and in Dubas' perspective, you know he likes to get guys with term, but sometimes that's not always the best option, especially with giving up a lot. And you know what? Just look for the best deals. And I like the Nashville potential in terms of Haula and Granlund. That's a possibility there. And of course, you guys know me. You've heard it on the channel. I love the potential of Boone Jenner. So if they can get Boone Jenner and Granlund, or like Boone Jenner and Haula, pull the trigger. Do it. I would love that. So thank you so much. Please do subscribe if you're new. Smash the like button. Let me know your thoughts. Sorry, no editing for this video. There's going to be a few videos I don't edit. Some videos I do. I'm almost done with school, so I'm excited for the future of this channel. Let's get to 30K. Let's do it. All right, guys, this is John from Hot Take Hockey. Have a good one. Peace out.